beautiful book friends. How are you? My name is Flossie, and this is the Grape Jelly Library, where we love to talk about books. And that is exactly and precisely what we are going to do today. Today is a themed video. The theme is Book of the Month. I am super excited to share with you the news that I not only have a Book of the Month unboxing, because who doesn't love a good book unboxing, but I also have 3 Book of the Month books that I have read. I know. Simmer down now, simmer down. 3 of them. I can't believe it. I am so excited. Step inside the library and come along this book journey with me. Oh my goodness, I have so much to share and to talk about, but if I get into all of that, then I'm afraid my video will end up being 20-30 minutes long, which I don't mind if you don't mind, but I try to be mindful of your time, and sometimes I get to rambling about, maybe just nonsense like I'm doing now. I guess I'm known for it. But anyways, let's try to focus on the facts, Floss. Okay, the facts are, this is a Book of the Month video. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Book of the Month books. We're not going to talk about how the library smells like chocolate, or shall I say, chocolate. Those little Scentsy burners with the wax melt? We are burning chocolate today, and it smells freaking delicious in here. It's like a trip to chocolate world. I love it. Okay, we're not going to talk about that. No, and we're not going to talk about the fact that my son just gave a tattoo today. He's a tattoo artist, and I have been wanting a bee tattoo for the longest because I love my bee friends. And, just haven't gotten around to it. Well, today a client came in and requested a flower with a bee, and this bee is hot damn. It is precise, and I want it. I want this same exact bee somewhere on my forearm. And we're not going to talk about the fact that I also want a book and a strawberry, but this is the bee that I want. I am in love with that. It's not a bumble. I love my bumbles. Maybe I want 2 bees. Maybe I want this bee, a honeybee, and a bumblebee. Maybe. What the heck? You only live once, right? Definitely need a strawberry, and I definitely need a book. But guess what? We ain't going to talk about none of that. We are going to talk about Book of the Month books. Gosh darn it. Okay, now, what should I do first? I should mention that it is National Get Caught Reading Month. So whatever you're doing, make sure you get caught reading. Super important. And it is also National Family Reading Month. So make sure that you are reading to your little ones. Make sure that you are reading to your significant other. Who cares? Read to your neighbor, read to your boss, read to your coworker. Just read to anybody, whether they'll listen to or not. Just say, hey, just the person I wanted to see. dig this, and just start reading to them. What's the worst that's going to happen? What are they going to do to you, right? They ain't going to do nothing to you. Yeah, so make sure you get caught reading, and make sure that you are reading not only to yourself, but to the others that are in your life and surround you and are, you know, encompassing your circle, or even outside of that circle. Just read. Read. Okay, so let's stop. Let's get to these book of the months. I promise you that's what we're going to do now. Here is the box that I hold in my hand, and I took the liberty of already opening it, so there'll be no awkward moments of me cutting my book jackets like I have done in previous videos. I did catch this bookmark because I love their bookmarks. This one is a celebratory bookmark. Here's to 100 months of the best new books. Yay, book of the month. We've hit triple digits. 100 months ago, Book of the Month relaunched to help readers like you discover new books they love and promote the work of emerging authors. Thank you for being part of our journey. Book of the Month 100. I think that is absolutely awesome. Just fantastic. So, I'm going to take these badass books out of the box. Peekaboo. And show you what I purchased. All right. The Collected Regrets of Clover by Mickey Brammer. I love Clover. I love it. But that has nothing to do with why I bought the book. What's the point of giving someone a beautiful death if you can't give yourself a beautiful life? From the day she watched her kindergarten teacher drop dead during dramatic telling of Peter Rabbit, Clover Brooks has felt a stronger connection with the dying than she has with the living. After the beloved grandfather who raised her dies alone while she is traveling, Clover becomes a death doula in New York City, dedicating her life to ushering people peacefully through their end-of-life process. Clover spends so much time with the dying that she has no life of her own until the final wishes of a feisty old woman sends Clover on a road trip across the country to uncover a forgotten love story and perhaps her own happy ending. As she finds herself struggling to navigate the uncharted waters of romance and friendship, Clover is forced to examine what she really wants and whether she'll have the courage to go after it. Probing, clever, and hopeful, The Collected Regrets of Clover turns the normally taboo subject of death into a reason to celebrate life. I'm on board with that. Absolutely. The Last Word. This sounds like one of those more type of books. After posting a negative book review, a woman living in a remote location begins to wonder if the author is a little touchy or very, very dangerous in this pulse-pounding novel of a psychological suspense and terror from the critically acclaimed author of it, No Exit and Hairpin Bridge. Emma Carpenter is living in isolation with her golden retriever, Leica, house-sitting an old beachfront home on the rainy Washington coast. Her only human contact is with her enigmatic elderly neighbor, Deke, and via text with the house's owner, Jules. One day, she reads a poorly written but gruesome horror novel by the author H.G. Cain and posts a 1-star review that drags her into an online argument with none other than the author himself. Soon after, disturbing incidents start to occur at night. To Emma, this can't just be a coincidence. It was strange enough for this author to bicker with her online about a lousy review. Could he be stalking her too? As Emma digs into Kane's life and work, she learns he has published 16 other novels, all similarly sadistic tales of stalking and murder. But who is he? How did he find her? And what else is he capable of? Displaying his trademark command of rapid-fire pacing, unnerving atmosphere, and razor-sharp characterization, Taylor Adams once again delivers a diabolically disturbing and deadly game of cat and mouse. What did I tell you? What did I tell you, friends? It sounded like it, and it absolutely is. They are the 2 books that I picked. Now, on to the 3 books that I read. I am one hot mama in the month of May because I am getting my reads in, and I am so super proud of myself. Let me show you my little May accomplishment / to-do board. It is right here. What do you think of that? Yeah, they are the books that I have read so far, and this is only the 11th of May. I have the rest of the month to go. That means I think May is going to be an epic month for reading in my case, and I am so there for it. I am raising my hand. I am present. I am here for it. Let's do this. Now, I must mention, I did read 3 books, but I only have 2. I am in the process of rearranging some shelves and organizing, and I thought I was doing great, and I would never, ever have to say, where is that gosh darn book? And search for hours for it, because now that I am getting organized, I would know what section to go to, horror, or memoir, or history, or romance even. But right now I am being true to my character, and I cannot find this 3rd book anywhere. So I would love to know where it is. I feel like I feel like I have looked for it within an ample amount of time, and I've come up empty-handed, and I pulled the plug. I don't care where this book is now at this point. When it reveals itself, it reveals itself. I am not going to play cat and mouse with my books. Wherever you are, stay there for all I care. Sooner or later, you're going to be found. For now, we're just going to go with this. This is one of the books that I read, Behold the Dreamers by Mbolo Mbu. And I give this a 5-star rating. I loved it, but don't take my word for it. I loved it. It is the story about immigrants coming over from West Africa. A mom and a dad and a child, and they come to the United States, and they, build their family, and they land a good job, and the husband does. And even though they are living in a poverty-stricken area, they don't care. All they care about is they are in the land of the free, the land of the luxury, the land of possibilities. And that's all that matters to them right now. And things seem to be falling in place. But just as life will happen, it does, and circumstances change, and they no longer find themselves on the up and up. So they absolutely 100% turn into everyday people. They are still the dreamers, but now they become everyday people. And there is lying, cheating, deceitfulness, there's blackmailing, there's domestic violence, all that occurs within the context of this novel. And it's definitely worth a read. And it's funny how life has a way of unfolding in front of our very eyes, and how we choose to deal with the circumstances as they change. What kind of people do we remain? What kind of people do we turn into? Do we buckle to the pressure of everyday life? Do we rise above it? How do we handle situations that are thrown at each and every one of us on a daily and monthly basis? You know, life is great, but it is not all peaches and cream. So that's why I am recommending this book. I think it is a wonderful book, and I think it definitely grounds us, and I think it definitely makes us step out of ourselves and look at ourselves from a different perspective. I must also say it is the dichotomy of a poverty-stricken family coming from West Africa, whose the husband lands a job with an extremely rich couple, who you would think that money solves all the problems, right? If you have money, then you have no worries. Well, read this book and see for yourself if money is the answer. Yeah, highly recommend this one. Okay, now the next book that I read is a cute little book by Kate Claiborne, and it is Georgie All Along. And I have recently purchased this book, and I have forgone all of my other book of the month books and skipped right to the chase. Love, love, love the colors, love the cover. Love the art design to this book, and wanted to find out what this book was about. And am I sorry that I read this? No, I give this a 5-star too. It's good to give books 5 stars. You know why? It makes my heart feel good, because I don't believe there's any author out there who wants to work as hard as they do to, you know, work with their imagination and their talents, conjure up a novel, put it out there, and then have those critics just tear it apart. Awful. Sometimes it's a necessity, but it's wonderful when you don't have to go there. So, Georgie All Along is the story about a young girl who moved from Virginia to California to become like a personal assistant, set up appointments, one of those party planners, just make sure everything is running smoothly for her extremely well-off boss. And one day it is revealed to her that she is no longer needed for that position. So, with nothing planned for her future, she packs up and heads back to her hometown, where her high school best friend is waiting to have a baby. And so Georgie is going to come back and help her best friend out in whatever way that is needed. And she's also just going to like bunk with her mom and dad and just see where life takes her. Georgie does not have a plan in life. Georgie is a fly by the seat of her pants type of gal. And one day she stops into a local store, and the town gossip is in there, and so is I was going to say but it's actually an extremely good-looking, disgruntled man. And when Georgie cannot find her funds to pay for these milkshakes for her and her best friend, this disgruntled man who is in a hurry just says, you know, I'll pay for it. Just be gone with her. Get her gone. I'm in a hurry. I'll take care of her tab. Well, Georgie never being one to let somebody foot the bill, she's embarrassed, and, you know, she finds a way to make this right via the form of an eventual relationship with this disgruntled man. So that's why I think you should read this book. How does that relationship with this extremely good looking but misunderstood, he's misunderstood, and that's part of the reason he's disgruntled, honorary man, fare out. Read Georgie all the time and find out for yourself, just like I did in my second book of the month book read. My third book of the month, yes, I say that with much pride, my third book of the month book was Black Cake. Black Cake, and I should know this, but I am sorry, my apologies. Charmaine Wilkerson. This is the story about a 70-year-old mother who is dying, but before she actually leaves this world, she, via audio tape, puts down a revealing last wish for her 2 children, and also instructions. So these 2 children, it's a brother and a sister duo, and they do not get along. The sister and the mom had a falling out, so she left a long time ago and did not have any contact with the family whatsoever. So upon this mother's reading or listening of the audio tape, the brother and sister are reunited, and a whole slew of soap opera shenanigans begin to take place. If you're a swimmer, then you might want to read this. If you love the water, you might want to read this. If you're adventurous, you might want to read this. I don't think I'd be giving too much away by saying that it gives the backstory. The book starts off with the mother's dying, and it gives the backstory of the mother's history. How, when she was very young, with a very promising future, her father couldn't get his act together. He was a drinker, a womanizer, a gambler, and he lost everything, and his business, everything. And when he had nothing else to offer, he put his daughter up to, like, the town mobster, the town villain, the town bad guy, promised his daughter's hand in marriage to this bad guy. And no matter what the daughter said, there was a wedding that was going to take place, whether she wanted it to or not. Something happened at the wedding, and it starts off right away telling us that this bad guy was poisoned. And Covey makes her escape. That's the mom's name. I should have said that. My apologies. Covey makes her escape. And it is believed, because she ran, that she is actually the person of interest who poisoned this bad guy, because she didn't want to marry him. But read the book. Find out, was she really the one who did the deed, or did someone else commit that crime and she was framed? A whole slew of soap opera. It really did read like a soap opera. I read this a little bit at a time. Each time I kept coming back, I felt like back in the day, I used to watch Days of Our Lives. I felt like, a little bit more of the saga of Days of Our Lives was going to be revealed. And that's why I think you should read this. What do I give this? What star rating do I give this? I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a 3. Is that terrible? This is why I'm gonna give it a 3. It starts off strong, and I'm there for the ride. But we make a couple twists and turns, and it feels a little elongated, and then we make a couple more twists and turns, and it feels like we're inviting too many people to the party. It doesn't feel like the house can hold this many people. Do you know what I mean? There's too many characters being introduced last minute. I just think we should have had a base amount of characters and just stuck with that. And that's the only reason why I'm giving it a 3. Do not let that deter you from reading this. You absolutely should. So they are my book of the month books that I have unboxed and plan on reading. They are the book of the month books that I have read. And, I promised myself 1 or 2 book of the month books that I would read every month. And I think I'm going to get 1 more in this month. I really do think I'm going to. So I'm going to be giving myself a pat on the back. It is Horror Mayhem May. And I have only read 1 horror book so far. I planned on reading 3. So in a few days, I'm going to start my second book. And I think I'm going to start the scariest one of them all. And then towards the end, I'm going to do the 3rd horror book. And then that's a wrap. I will let you know as I go along what I think of them. Until my next video, know that I love you. Be well, be good, be reading, and may all your book dreams come true.